All right, welcome everyone. This is our overnight camp new family orientation. And so if you are sending your kiddo to day camp this summer, then I have a different link for you at 7:30. If you're coming to overnight camp for the first time, then welcome, you are in the right place. My name is Elizabeth Cochran. Eli is my nickname. And I am here. I asked
Not coming in?
Matthew to join us tonight too, and so that he could help me with the chat box. He's one of our summer camp leaders that just finished a semester at college and came pretty much straight to camp to help us get ready for summer. So I'm going to jump right into it. I am sharing a slideshow with you in 1 second, and
you want to watch us?
so you should be able to see my slideshow, and then Matthew will continue to admit people. And if everybody can mute yourself as you come in, that would be great. All right, so hello and welcome. Again, this is a picture of our lake. So we have two main areas of camp at Camp Ernst. And this is the first thing that you'll see when you're coming down Camp Ernst Road. You'll see our 27-acre spring-fed lake, and you will, and so we'll be doing activities in here in the summer, and we'll talk about the activities in a second. And when you come to camp, we'll talk about how you check in and go down the driveway, but just wanted you to get a picture of, like, we got a lot of green. We have 365 acres out here in Boone County. We have been here since 1928, so we are celebrating 95 years this summer. Very excited about that. The suburbs have literally sprung up around us, but we have maintained our 300 plus acres of friendship making space, forests and trails and fields and ponds and creeks and tons of space for fun. So we look forward to you joining us here this summer. My job here, I'm the executive director at YMCA Camp Ernst, so I have worked here full time. I like to say, like, this literally is my real job. I've worked here full time for 20 years. My husband and I have raised our kids here, and we live on the property year round. So my job as the executive director at YMCA Camp Ernst is to oversee the whole operation, our all of our fundraising and finances. We have a great team who does the hiring and the program design, and we have more than 400 high school and college students who join us every summer to be the direct care givers for your campers and thousands of others this summer. So we're really looking forward to having more of them come and join us in the next couple of weeks as we get going with our training. So let me tell you a little bit about camp. My idea here is that I'm going to go through some basic overview things about camp. I'm going to show you some pictures. We'll talk about the daily schedule, what to pack, those kinds of things, how to manage your child sickness. Like if you're a parent and you're like really worried about missing your kiddo when they're at camp, or if you're a camper and you're really worried about missing your home while you're at camp, we'll talk about that a little bit, and we'll give you a chance to ask some questions too, of course. So at the Y, we generate a strong feeling of achievement, relationship, and belonging. And so in this picture here, you see the camp leader teaching this camper how to do a box lanyard. If any of you parents went to camp when you were a kid, you probably did a lanyard. We do a camp history Zoom session every the first Tuesday of every month, and I had a camp counselor from the 60s on there last week who showed me his lanyard that he made for his wife, who he met at camp. He met her at camp in the 70s. He had this lanyard still that he had given to her, and just really sweet. So anyway, a long history of lanyard making. The point here is that You can try something new. If you've never made a lanyard before, your camp counselors will help you make a lanyard. If you've never kayaked or ridden a bike, your camp counselors will help you do that. If you've never gone on the zip line, that's a thing you can try when you come to camp. You can try, sometimes your achievement is even like spending a week away from home, or maybe your achievement is setting a goal of hitting the target in archery, and that's really what you want to do. Your camp counselors will help you achieve that goal. So we want you to feel a sense of accomplishment, and that's basically what we are designing your week around. But not just accomplishment and achievement, also relationships. So we hope that you will make so many friends at camp. So if you're coming to camp with a cabin mate or with a group of friends, then that is fine. We actually can accommodate group requests of 5 or fewer friends requesting to be in a cabin together. And if you have a group of 6 or more, then we're going to ask you to split into 2, and we'll put you in cabins near each other, just to help the counselors manage the group dynamics and to help for maximum friend making, because friend making is really what camp is all about. And I will share with you in some emails before camp starts, I'll share with you a blog post that I wrote about some of my own friendships that I made at camp. And I hope that you will in the future tell me about the friends that you have made at camp too. Something about making friends at camp, even though you might only have known the person for 1 week, because you are with them and you're doing all these new activities and you're kind of in a new space and experiencing new things together, and you're brushing your teeth together every morning and every night, hopefully, it just builds a really strong bond, and it gives you the opportunity to really get to know someone who you may not typically have built a relationship with. So we're really proud of the opportunity to grow relationships at camp. We also really hope that the environment that we curate here is an environment where you can feel belonging. And in this picture, you see some camp counselors giving high fives. We hope you will get high fives all the time at camp, and high fives and other welcoming and expressions of belonging, and really feeling like you're part of the team. At our opening campfire on Sunday nights and our closing campfire on Friday nights, there will be more than 700 people at our campfire ring. So all of the campers and all of the counselors for the week will all be there. And there is just an amazing sense of belonging when you're in this big crowd of people, and everybody's doing what we call the camp clap together. That's just a special way that we clap with a certain rhythm to it. So we'll teach you that when you come to camp. So you're gonna achieve new things, you're going to make new friends, you're going to feel a sense of belonging, and you're going to feel like this is your place. But I want to tell you about the places that we have here. So we have several different kinds of cabins, and you are assigned to your cabins based on your grade that you're going into. And so the first type of cabin that I'm going to tell you about is Lakeview Lodge, and Lakeview Lodge is the home of the 1st through 4th graders, so typically about ages 6 to 9. Matthew, who's helping me out today, just happens to be the unit leader for the Lakeview Lodge campers this summer. So you get a cameo by a famous camp counselor staff person right now, but the Lakeview Lodge is a little bit of a gentler introduction to overnight camping, because the cabins are actually rooms inside a lodge, and the lodge has also the dining room for this area of camp, and it has the bathrooms and the showers and some lobbies where kids play Foursquare pretty much all day and most of the night until bedtime, right, Matthew? A lot of Foursquare going on there. And so you'll see there's bunk beds. There's bunk beds in all of our cabins. So you might want to start right now thinking about, are you a top bunker or are you a bottom bunker? Which do you prefer? And when you get to camp, you'll get to make your bed on the top or bottom bunk, and you'll put your stuff next to the bunk bed. And your counselors will help you get all set up and do all of that. Now, these cabins at Lakeview Lodge actually are air conditioned. They have windows, and then they have these air conditioning units that help cool it off in there, because this building really holds the heat, and it doesn't have great ventilation with it being a giant lodge. So, oh, here's a better picture of the bunk beds. There we go. All right, so now you're going to see, this is one of the valley cabins. So the valley is the area of camp where the 5th through 7th graders stay. That's typically about ages 10 to 12. And these are the oldest cabins at camp, the very classic cabins. They're also the newest cabins at camp, because this is a picture of one of the oldest ones, but in the valley we also have the newest cabins at camp too. So these cabins are really cool. They've got screens all around, so when you lay in your bunk you can feel the breeze. They have porches where kids like to hang out and share snacks. Very, very common thing at camp is a snack party. And but again, bunk beds. Here's an inside of one. Doesn't have any stuff in it, but you'll see how the mattresses, most of the mattresses in this picture are laying up against the window. Obviously, when you come in there and you make your bed, you're going to have your mattress laying on the bunk, and you're going to slide your stuff under the bunk, and there's a lot of space in there to keep your things together. So we'll talk about how you can pack and what you put your stuff in a minute. So this is a valley cabin. Right now the flaps are down in this picture, but imagine that these flaps were rolled up, and then you could just see outside into the field and into the forest, and you can feel the breeze, and it's lovely. This next picture is of the loft. The loft is part of our leadership village. It's where the 8th through 10th graders stay, who are in the Leaders in Training program. The Leaders in Training program is what we call the unit for the LITs, the oldest campers. So they don't necessarily have any extra responsibilities, except for what responsibilities come with kind of being an older kid and knowing that they are being looked towards by some of the younger campers. But the Leaders in Training name is a tradition that we call the 13 through 15-year-old program at camp. And so these cabins have also bunk beds just like this. Here you see all these pictures are with the flaps down, but also the screens in the cabin and the breeze, and then there's big attic fans that kind of pull the air through for the airflow. So that's the loft. And then here are the yurts, and the yurts are where we have the crew program. So that's the 15-year-olds who are in our service learning program who help in the kitchen. And we also have the equine adventure campers stay in one of these yurts, and they will they'll spend most of their day in the barn and then conk out at the end of the day. They get so tired that they are falling asleep right away in these very nice bunk beds. I love the inside of the yurts, love the tongue and groove floor we've got in there. And again, you'll see the screens. And the yurts also have air conditioning, which maybe cuts the heat. It does not feel like, it doesn't feel like when you go inside Kroger and it's really cool inside the grocery store in there. It just feels like not quite as hot as outside. So those are the cabins, and you will get your cabin assignment on the Monday before you arrive at camp, and that'll come in an email to you. And so you'll be able to see what cabin you're going to go in, what cabin you'll be checking into on that Sunday. And if you have any questions or if it doesn't look right, then you can always email us and say, hey, I don't think I'm in the right place. And then we can help you out. So don't panic. The reason we send it out in advance is so that we can help you if we happen to make mistakes. And I say we, but really it's me, because I work really hard to do cabin assignments, and every once in a while I do mess up, but I really do care, and I really do want to make your camp experience the best possible. So I want to do it right. So here you'll see, this is a picture of a counselor with a group of campers. Now, when you're a camper at Camp Ernst, you are spending your whole day with your counselor and with your group of campers. So you are assigned a schedule where you go to the activities with your cabin group, and the counselor takes you to all of those activities. So each cabin has 2 counselors and usually a junior counselor. Also, sometimes a program staff member might live in there too. And they will go around to all the activities with you. You'll have a schedule that is kind of like how at school, first period you have math, second period you have social studies, except more fun because it might be like first period archery, second period pool. And your counselors will be with you every step of the way. It works out really well because the friends that you're already making friends with in your cabin are the ones you're getting to do the activities with. And your counselor that you are already learning how to trust and go to for any questions or concerns is the one who is going to the activities with you also. So I love that aspect. There is also a choice activity period in the evening after dinner. And so that might be where you would have the chance to, if some kids in your cabin wanted to go on a creek hike with one counselor and another group of kids from your cabin wanted to go to the pool and a third group wanted to have a basketball tournament, then all of those things could happen during choice activity time. We will, so like I said, those are rotation of activities. So let's talk about those activities. So the activities are a very carefully planned out schedule, and you'll have several opportunities to go to each area of camp throughout the week. And and throughout the week, you will go to the valley, which is where you'll do archery games. We have slingshots. We do candle making. We have a big pool down there. I don't think I included a picture of the pool, but the pool is one of my favorite places at camp. It's got a double twisty slide in it. Very nice feature. So arts and crafts, all of that, these classic camp activities, those are in the valley. We also have the double discovery course, the double disco. That's our brand new ropes course that was finished a year ago. And I'll show you a picture of that in a second. We are not going to force you to do anything that you're not comfortable doing, but we are going to say, hey, maybe challenge yourself to like get the gear on and go up to the first level and just see what you think. And so we practice challenge by choice. So there might be, so maybe you choose like, okay, I'm going to just challenge myself to go up the cave through the, up the ladder and onto the first level. And then if you feel a little nervous or too uncomfortable, then you can get right back down. If you want to just keep going and challenge yourself to climb all around, then that will be available for you also. There's also a zip line that goes with the double disco and a rock wall. And we have a low ropes team building area too, that the counselors will walk you through. And then at our lake, we have corkles, which are like kayaks, but in a circle. So they're called corkles. Those are really fun. We have the 100-foot water slide. It's 100 feet long into the lake. Kayaks, canoes, log rolling, the rocket, and stand-up paddle boards. So really fun time. Here's a picture of the double disco. The double disco uses a continuous belay system. It's really neat. It's amazing technology. You have to do a little training orientation before you get up there, and then the counselors help you, but you can climb all around on this, and there's 3 levels of it. It's very fun. This is a picture of 9 square in the air, just one of the fun activities on the sport court. And this is the rocket. So one of the inflatable things. It's kind of like a teeter-totter on the lake. So you climb up there and kind of rock back and forth. You probably fall off. This is a corkle. So these are those, what I said, like it's like a kayak, but it's in a circle. Kind of hard to explain until you get into it. And here's some campers finding some salamanders in the creek. That is a classic camp activity, looking for fossils, seeing what you can find in there. There's a little frog. And oh, this is that double twisty slide in the pool, in the valley pool that I told you about. So very popular to see how fast you can get down the slide in the pool. Then we have the barn. So even if you're not signed up for a horse program, you'll still get the chance to go up to the barn and pet the horses. Depending on how old you are, the youngest kids at camp, the 6 to 9-year-olds, do go to pony rides. So they do get the chance to like ride around in the arena with the horses. Otherwise, you'll probably go with your counselors up to the petting zoo and meet our goats, Frosty, Lily, and Willie. And they are very friendly. Matthew just went to visit them right before dinner tonight and came back like, I hope the goats just run around all summer. So we've got those goats, and we've got a pig named Jasper in the petting zoo also. And my favorite new feature of the barn is we have a baby horse right now, and he's, I think, 1.5 years, and very cute, giant eyes, gorgeous. You should check out our Instagram to see pictures of him. Also, I'm obsessed, so there might be a lot of pictures of that baby horse on the Instagram on a regular basis. Speaking of horses, at Ranch Camp, which is an add-on program for 10 to 12-year-olds during week 2 and week 7, you will go up to the barn for a couple of hours each day. You get the same horse every day, and you learn about horse care. You take some lessons in the arena. You go on trail rides. It's a blast. If you do Lakeview Ranch Camp, that is for the youngest kids. That is also an add-on, and that's available weeks 1 through 8. And that is an 1.5 hours at the barn and 3 days a week. So similar kind of idea. You have your same horse that you ride each time you go up there, and you're not going on a trail ride if you're in Lakeview Ranch, but you do the arena lessons and ground lessons, and you learn about grooming horses. And we practice whole horsemanship, so where we teach that it's not just about the actual riding of a horse, but the horse care and all the different facts about a horse science, that we think is important for everybody to know if you're going to care about horses. And then even if you're not in one of those horse add-on programs, you can add on just a trail ride if you are age 9 or older. And the trail ride is where you go up for just an hour one time during the week, and the counselors will take you on an arena lesson to make sure you know the basics of it, and then you'll get to go out on our beautiful trails at camp. I think I have a picture of, oh, there's some trail riders, and there's a really nice trail right there too. And then there's also equine adventure. So equine adventure campers will spend most of every day at the barn. So they might have like one chunk of time during the week when they go to the ropes course and one chunk of time when they go to the lake. But other than that, most of the time they're at the barn. They've got a little bit of swimming, they've got some evening program stuff, but the rest of the time they're doing equine adventure, which is all horses. And so we have some horse professionals that'll come out and meet with the group, and you'll get to do all the aspects of horse care and lots of trail rides, lots of lessons, lots of time with the horses for those horse-loving kids. We're in Kentucky, so we got to lean into our horse identity here. We also want to make sure that you know that we are here to help you get ready for camp. So we will answer any questions that you have in this session. If you want to come to one of our in-person orientations, you can take a tour around. If you can't make it to those, we can probably organize a one-off tour for you. Be happy to try to make that happen. We have an option for you to text questions or email questions, or just call us and ask a question that you have. We want you to feel really comfortable, as comfortable as you can, sending your children to camp with us this summer. And I had a board member years ago who said, Eli, the first year, I always tell parents, you're going to be like glued to the phone. You're going to be worried about getting that phone call. You're going to be looking at the pictures on the Zenfolio page to see if you can catch a glimpse of your child. And then the second year, you're going to go on a cruise. So my objective with helping parents feel comfortable sending their kids to camp is to get you through the first year so that you know that your kid is going to be fine, have an amazing time, and so that you can relax and have a party for yourself too. So maybe summer camp this year means cruise for you in 2024, parents. So start planning now. We will be sending emails to you with preparation 4 weeks out, and then 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out, 3 days out, etc. So we have like our emails timed. The families who are coming to week 1 of camp have already received their 4 weeks out email because we are now at 3.5 weeks before week 1 of summer camp. So can't believe how time is flying. And like I said before, your cabin assignments will be in that series of emails, but your cabin assignments come by Monday at midnight, the Monday before you arrive at camp. If you're doing one of our shorter sessions, like the half week or the intro, those are also mostly on that same schedule. Most of the things that I'm saying apply to those shorter sessions also. There's not an opportunity because you're at camp for a shorter amount of time, so you can't do every single thing that we have at camp, but we try really hard to make sure that you get like a sampling of our special camp activities. Okay, so let's talk about healthcare at camp. We have camp nurses and doctors who help us make camp happen. We still have a couple slots for camp nurses and doctors. So if you are interested in free camp tuition for your camper and you are a nurse or a doctor, let me know about that. We also have the nurses and doctors are here for over-the-counter meds kind of things, like I have a headache, can I get some ibuprofen, that kind of thing. Kiddos will be able to go with their counselor to the health office and be seen. They're also, of course, here for emergencies and then for prescriptions. So if your child takes any regular medicine, whether it's a prescription or maybe they take like a Zyrtec every morning, we're going to ask you when you're coming to check in, we're going to ask you to go to the medicine line on the driveway, and you're going to load up one of these blister packs with the medicine for your child. So there you'll get an email which will have a video of one of our nurses demonstrating the blister pack. So this is actually a genius system that works really well for us. And so you'll load it up for us with the medicine that your child takes at bedtime or breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and on the day. And then the nurse brings the medicine to the dining halls, and then the children who need to go see the health officer, so the nurse or the doctor, will just go see them during the meal because they'll be right there in the dining hall for you. And they can give you your medicine then, or if you need to talk to them about something that's bothering you, then that's a great place and time to check in because you always know that they're going to be at every meal. So that works out. Okay, so we're just going to shift gears and talk about packing. So for packing, this is an old screenshot that says face masks on it. You do not have to bring face masks. So I apologize that I did not edit this. But we will send you a packing list. This is linked in several places on the website also. We have a partnership with a company called Pack for Camp. They have a link where you can go to their website and order any of the things that you need and have them shipped to you if you want. Of course, you don't have to shop there. You can shop wherever you want and get these things. The way that kids like to pack, I recommend one of these tubs. When my kids were little, I packed their stuff for them, but alongside them, and wanted to make sure that my kids knew everything that I had packed. Every once in a while, we will have a camper who says, I don't think I have any underwear. And then the Matthew's nodding because he has been the counselor of these campers, and occasionally, right? And then so we have to call home, and the family at home says, "Oh no, it's in the side pocket back in the corner," and or for whatever reason they've like tried to hide the underwear. And so we really recommend that your kiddo is with you when you're packing, so that they know what they have and they can feel confident about that. Now, when my kids, when they got a little older, I would let them pack for themselves and just kind of double check what they were packing, of course. My daughter really liked to pack things in gallon Ziploc bags labeled by the day. And that made her feel organized and like she knew she would have what she needed. And so she would get the gallon Ziploc bag, label it Monday, and then put shorts, t-shirt, underwear, socks in that bag. And then she could put that in her bin and then move on to Tuesday. And then she'd have a separate bag after, she got through each day. She would also have a bag that would have extras and a bag for pajamas. Now, I don't think she ever followed that system when she actually was at camp, because I think she probably went for Thursday, which is where her favorite t-shirt was, and wore that most of the week. But at least she felt like she was like organized on the front end and ready to go. And I think that helps the counselors too, especially for the younger kids, when they know where all of their stuff is. We see a lot of maybe the older kids bringing these plastic drawers. That works too, fine. I mean, you don't have to go buy something if you really want to send your kiddo with a duffel bag or suitcase or however you want to pack. You are welcome to pack however you want. As a mom, personally, I liked the bins because at the end of the week, I could dump everything out on the driveway or in the yard. I could hose out the bin and then put my Christmas decorations back in it. So that is what we recommend. Also, make sure you bring a dirty clothes bag. So whether that's one of those mesh laundry bags or some other kind of like nylon bag for the dirty clothes, it is really helpful for the campers to be able to separate their dirty laundry from the clean laundry. Sometimes people will bring a garbage bag for their laundry. That's fine too, as long as they keep it with their stuff and it's not like left in the cabin and then it looks like there's just a bag of garbage and it gets discarded. So we would not want that. We do want you to write your name on everything. We want you to write your whole name or at least the last name on everything. That gives us the best chance of reuniting lost belongings. If you put initials, there could be a lot of other people with those initials, and it's just harder to be a detective about who those initials belong to. So I really like to see last names on things. If I find something with your camper's last name on it, I am going to be hunting down that camper and giving it back to them because I know that you did not send something to camp with them that you were hoping to not get back. Although you probably should not hope too much that you'll get something back, because many times things do get lost. If you do lose something, we have a lost and found form that you'll fill out. And the lost and found form just is a web form. It has all the details. We'll have a lost and found coordinator this summer who will be constantly searching through the lost and found, organizing the lost and found. We have an enormous amount of lost and found. There's 700 people here every week. So you can imagine there's a lot of, there's a giant volume. We will not save underwear and socks, other kind of like, sometimes we can't save everything, but we will try really hard to reunite you and your lost belongings. But it's better if you don't lose them to begin with, of course. So these are some other notes on, let's see what I said here that I want to highlight. Please label everything. Oh, fan. So you don't have to bring a fan, but a lot of kids like to bring a fan. My kids never brought fans and they did fine at camp. Matthew, I don't know if did you bring a fan to camp when you were a camper? No. Okay. So lots of kids don't bring a fan. So don't let your kids tell you every single person has a fan, because that is not true. The cabins do have fans in them. And also they get hot. Obviously, the cabins that have the air conditioning at Lakeview don't get as hot, but if you would like to bring a fan, you can. We recommend battery operated fans because there's not an outlet for every single bunk. You can use the kind of battery operated fans that need to be charged because there'll be enough time during the day for, several kids' fans to be plugged in and be charged. There's like the clip-on kind that can go on your bunk and then blow on you as you sleep. So maybe that's what you want to do. It's not absolutely necessary. I see kids sometimes with the little like spray bottle fans or just like walking around with the like necklace fans, personal fans. So that's also an option, of course, or no fan, because you definitely can do camp without a fan. All right. Big thing for you to note is that we do have a no cell phone or device policy. And so you might be thinking like, how am I gonna keep in touch with my camper? And this is just like, you know what, y'all, we're going back to the 80s where you didn't keep in touch with your camper every second of every day. And you can write them letters. They can get mail. We'll have a whole thing about mail. I'll send you all the details about mail before camp. But if you want to drop off letters or care packages, you can do that on Sunday if you label them all for what day you want them delivered. We have a whole mail delivery system that we can take for you. We actually have email. The campers cannot email you back, but you can send an email to them if you would like. And we will be updating you as much as possible on our Instagram. And also we have this collection of photos called Zenfolio. So this is our Zenfolio page. If you, this will be set up to where there'll be a 2023 folder and then a folder for your week, and you'll be able to flip through the photos every day. Our photographers will be uploading pictures from the day, and you'll be able to flip through and see what was happening at camp during that day and catch a glimpse of your camper. And so that's really fun. I know you might be thinking like, what if there's a problem? I absolutely understand. Being a mom myself, of course, you're worried about like, if there's a problem, I'm going to need to know about it. What we will promise, we are very committed to communicating problems with you. Matthew is one of our master communicators. If your camper is in Lakeview this summer, 1st through 4th grade, and there's any kind of hint of a problem, you will probably get a phone call from Matthew, and you might be wondering like, this doesn't even sound like a problem, Matthew, why are you calling me? Because he always errs on the side of making a phone call. And that's what all of our camp leaders do. We know that different parents feel different ways about when they want to be notified. And so we're just going to always err on the side of telling you like your kiddo doesn't feel that good, or something happened, or they like lost their goggles and they're really upset about it, or they're feeling a little homesick. Do you have any tips? Or they didn't like anything that we had in the dining hall today, and they can't think of their favorite food. Last summer, there was a child who said he didn't like any food except for steak. So the counselor called the parent and said like, let me say that he only likes steak. I'm not sure we're going to have steak this week at camp. And the parent said that was a lie. So campers, we will find out. If you say you only like steak and lobster, we will find out that there probably are some other things that you'll eat. And we will try to help you out with that. We really want your week to be great. And so we're going to do everything we can do to make that possible. We want you to know that if something or someone's keeping you from having a good time, you need to tell someone. So you're going to tell your counselor, you can tell your unit leader, you can tell the camp nurse, you can tell one of the directors. We are all here to help you have the best time ever. And we want you to learn how to advocate for yourself also, if there's something going on that we can help you with. I want to talk about check-in on Sunday. So you are going to check in between 3 and 4:30, and you'll come down the driveway. There's a lane for medicine and a lane for no medicine. If you are in the medicine lane, I showed you that picture of the blister packs. You'll be doing that. You'll be checking in your medicine with the nurses and the doctors on the driveway. If you're in the no meds line, you'll be just checking in with one of our driveway staff is gonna check you in, and then we'll direct you to the cabin area. So you'll get to the end of the driveway and you'll turn right if you are going to a letter cabin, like letter Q or letter A. And you'll turn left if you're going to a number cabin, like you're in cabin 8 or cabin 17. And then once you get to that area, there will be other counselors who will tell you where to park. And then you actually are going to do check-in from your car. So the counselors will come to the car. They'll have a clipboard. They'll say, who are we checking in today? You'll be checking in Matthew. And then they'll ask you the check-in questions. They'll have you sign them in. They will ask if there's anything special you need to know. And then we have some what we call e-teamers, who are some of our junior staff who have the luggage carts, and they will help your camper load up everything on your luggage cart. You get to say goodbye right there in the parking lot. It is quick and easy, and really allows for fewer tears and a more efficient goodbye and a greater transition to camp life. And so then they will head on to the cabin, and the family will pull out and head on to your week, and then you'll reunite on Saturday. And it is that simple. I included this picture because, I mean, I know I just talked like straight for 45 minutes, and I didn't tell you about some of the special times of what happens at camp. So we're talking a lot logistics and not a lot of the just the special, cool, unique feeling of being at overnight camp. So at camp here, you'll see this picture is of Vespers, which is one of the circle times in the evening. These are a couple groups of girls sharing about what they like about camp and about friendship. And so every evening after the evening program, so your evening program is going to be like a campfire or like a big game like Capture the Flag. And then once you get all cleaned up, you're going to circle up with your cabin group, and either like on your porch or inside your cabin or maybe in a special place around camp, you will do a little we call it embers time, so a little reflection on the day, and you'll have a chance to say something that you liked about the day. Maybe the counselor will read a quote and people kind of say like, you know, what that means to them, and you'll get to affirm each other and talk about friendship and how you're growing and what your goals are for the next day. And then when your head hits the pillow, you are so tired from being so busy all day, you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, and you do it again. This is really just a snapshot, y'all. I mean, the pace of camp is incredible. There's a lot of things going on every day, and a lot of friends being made, a lot of new activities being tried, and overall just building excitement and a unique experience where kids get to connect to each other face to face and in nature, when, you know, so many of us spend so much time in front of a screen. This is an art that we are proud to be a part of, and an important movement to help kids connect and build those 21st century social emotional skills. So I want to give a chance to ask any questions. There's a lot of people in here, so I don't think we'll be able to do the unmuting, but if you have additional questions that you haven't asked, I see there's 48 chats. I think Matthew maybe has been busy answering the chats. Make sure you read through the chat questions. If there's anything that someone else has asked that might apply to you. And Matthew, is there anything that you want to add?
No, not really. I mean, I
Okay.
think some of the biggest questions that I'm seeing. Oh, I see myself on the screen right now. Um, I see a lot of people asking about snacks and technology.
Okay.
All of that is on the camp website. Um, but yeah, snacks. Obviously, we love your kids to have snacks because then they can bring them around if they get hungry throughout the day. Snack parties too are awesome. But yeah, no, other than that, I mean, camp is so much fun, and I think we take pride in the good job that we were able to do for your kids, and we're really excited for them to come this summer.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I will. I'm glad you mentioned snacks. I kind of breezed through that part in the packing. I did, as a mom, I would allow my kids to bring 2 snacks. So not like a crazy amount of snacks. They could pick 2 things. They could pick a pack of Oreos and a bag of Twizzlers, say. And then I think that snacks are a great way to make friends. Personally, I like double stuffed Oreos. So if you want to make friends with me, maybe bring me an Oreo. Um, I don't need to be bribed to be friends with you. I love friendship, but also I do love Oreos. So you don't have to bring a crazy amount of snacks, but it also helps break the ice. It helps you maybe share something that you like that's important to you that is a good way to tell someone else about you, and it's a good way to learn about somebody else. The We do ask that the snacks not be peanutty snacks, just in case you have a kiddo in your cabin who has a nut allergy. So try to avoid those. If you are a family with a nut allergy, then make sure that your child knows about checking ingredients and not sharing snacks from other people, just in case. And we didn't talk about EpiPens or inhalers, but those also, you'll check those in with the nurse, and then the counselor will carry the EpiPen for your camper in their cabin backpack, so that it will always be right there with you. And then the nurse also has a backup. So that's how the EpiPens and rescue inhalers also work that way. Um, I am going to go ahead and stop the recording, stop the share. And if anybody wants to stick around for more questions, then we have a little bit of time. We can do that before we need to start our day camp Zoom. And of course, if you think of anything else, reach out, please. And we are really looking forward to another great summer, our 95th anniversary, and we're counting down to 100 years here. So you are a part of our history and our future. And thank you so much for choosing to send your kids to Camp Ernst this summer.